In the early 1980s, gay adult cinema was transforming into a well-oiled industry. Studios were becoming more professional, and VHS had opened up an entirely new form of distribution. Audiences who once experienced these films in theaters were now watching them from the privacy of their homes. And they expected more. They wanted stories, they wanted chemistry, they wanted realism. A director who began his career in the mid-1970s would help make that possible. His name was Matt Sterling, a filmmaker whose influence on the gay adult entertainment industry was enormous. In 1986, director John Travis released a gay adult film starring Jeff Stryker that would help change the landscape of gay adult entertainment. That film was called Powertool. The movie was incredibly successful and became one of the films that launched Stryker's career into true icon status. Over time, Powertool has become one of the most recognizable gay porn films ever made. And after watching it for the first time, I couldn't help but think that Powertool is one of those movies that makes you wonder how many gay men in the mid-1980s might have tempted to get themselves arrested just for a chance to meet a man like Jeff Stryker.
I miss you bad. I want you. I want you so fucking bad. So what do you think? You like what you see? Huh? Do you want me as bad as I want you?
Let's not sugarcoat it. Jeff Stryker was one of the most recognizable gay porn stars of the 1980s, helping redefine masculinity during the VHS era. An icon people instantly recognized long before social media and the internet rewired the adult entertainment industry. With his confrontational screen presence, Stryker emerged as a crossover figure at a time when gay porn rarely entered mainstream awareness. This is a short essay about Jeff Stryker, his rise to fame, the way he managed his own image and marketing, and how he helped change the system in ways that still echo throughout the gay adult film industry. This is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. Matt Sterling was the professional name of Jack Default, who was born in Massachusetts on October 8, 1942. But beyond those basic facts, very little about his childhood or personal life was ever recorded. He often worked under pseudonyms and stayed largely out of the spotlight. Sterling became a pioneering figure in California's gay adult film scene, founding Brentwood Studios in San Francisco in 1974, one of the earliest companies producing short gay erotic films. In a rare interview with Jerry Douglas, Sterling explained that he entered filmmaking almost by accident after working in the fashion industry and running a mail-order clothing business. Brentwood Studios can be seen as a precursor of what Falcon Studios would later become, and Sterling served as the studio's primary director throughout the mid to late 1970s. Through his work, he helped establish early frameworks for gay adult film production and distribution, supporting the industry's transition away from earlier formats. Sterling would later direct for Falcon Studios throughout the early 1980s, where he made his first major breakthrough with the film Huge.
My face? Man, I can hardly wait. Guess you must have felt that way when you got your own bike.
Throughout much of the 1980s, Sterling worked with both Falcon and Huge Video, directing one successful film after another and creating some of the defining titles of the studio era.
Like, man, she was a real hot piece of ass.
In my country, that's what we call warm-up.
In my country, that's what we call bullshit.
Well, your game bell right now, huh?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to playing with my friends.
His films helped shape the visual language of the Falcon system. Polished lighting, simple narrative framing, and a focus on believable chemistry between performers. Sterling believed adult films should feel real, and usually cast performers with natural presence, men who didn't require much direction because he preferred to keep direction to a minimum. He was also known to sometimes film sex scenes before shooting dialogue, using those moments to see whether the chemistry between performers actually worked. That emphasis on realism would go on to influence a generation of directors who followed. Beyond directing, Sterling also helped shape the business model that allowed gay adult cinema to grow. With Brentwood Studios, he helped define the early production of short erotic films. And through Huge Video, he helped expand distribution into the VHS era. His work with performers like Jeff Stryker, Ryan Idle, and Joey Stefano helped launch careers that would come to define the late 1980s and early 90s era. In late 1988, Sterling developed Guillain-Barré syndrome, a serious neuromuscular disorder. The condition gradually began to affect his professional life. However, Sterling continued working whenever possible, though at a slower pace, increasingly shifting into roles as a producer and editor on various projects. After a career that spanned nearly 3 decades, Sterling's final works as a director were Feast Your Eyes in 2002 and A Matter of Size 2 in 2005.
Hey, let me know if I can help you find anything.
On December 6, 2006, Jack Dufault, known professionally as Matt Sterling, passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles.
Well, as usual, you were great last night. Must have been a real high for you. I know it was a high for me, just hearing you play.
Hey, thanks, man. You know, it really feels good pleasing that many people.
Matt Sterling helped professionalize gay adult filmmaking and shape the aesthetic of the studio era. Sometimes the most iconic filmmakers are the ones whose names you barely know, but whose influence you see everywhere. And like many pioneers of early gay porn, Matt Sterling left behind few personal details but a shitload of hot films. By the mid-1980s, performers in adult films were beginning to function less like anonymous actors and more like recognizable actors. Few embodied that shift more than Jeff Stryker. Studios quickly realized that audiences weren't just watching individual films, they were following specific performers. As a result, certain actors began appearing repeatedly in roles that reinforced a consistent on-screen identity. In Stryker's case, that identity was built around a carefully crafted image of hypermasculinity, muscular, confident, physically dominant, and unmistakably all-American. Take all that, set the film in a prison, one of those iconic porn lore settings, and holy smokes, you've got yourself a hit. The movie opens in a courthouse where we are introduced to the defendant, Jeff Stryker, which immediately raises an important question. What exactly did he do?
Do you have anything to say before I pronounce sentence? Would it do me any good if I did?
Oof. Maybe it was the acting. Anyways, 30 days in jail almost sounds like a luxury stay when you consider the kind of activities he's about to get into. The opening credits are intercut with scenes of Stryker being processed and slowly taking his clothes off before being led away to his holding cell. Conveniently located across from his cell are 2 other inmates, including John Davenport. Davenport is reading a letter supposedly written by his girlfriend Karen, explaining that she's marrying someone else while he's been incarcerated.
Suddenly and unexpectedly, someone new has entered my life.
Which makes me wonder, can Tim Lowe in the other bunk hear this letter too?
All of this is behind you. You'll be able to find that person who is just right for you. Sincerely, Karen.
Things escalate very quickly, and suddenly, I'm sitting there thinking, where exactly was John Davenport all my life?
Good news or bad news?
Meanwhile, Stryker watches the entire situation unfold from his cell. The moment is interrupted by a guard, but once the guard leaves, they get right back to it. In the next scene, Stryker is assigned cleaning duty, and while working, he and his cleaning partner somehow manage to sneak away for a quick joint. This has to be one of the most relaxed prisons in cinematic history.
You like that, huh? Well, that'll cost you a carton of cigarettes.
From what I hear, the story's out. It's a big one.
2 cartons and it's yours.
And of course, because it's a prison movie, you also get a shower scene. A very nice shower scene. After that, we move into another moment between Stryker and one of the guards, who hints that he might be able to get him out of jail sooner. If only the real world worked like this.
Still copping an attitude, huh?
Although in the gay world, sometimes it kinda does. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the state, we meet Stryker's boyfriend. Apparently, after a couple of days apart, he's already brought another guy home.
Who was that guy in those pictures? Is he your brother or something?
No, just a really close friend.
I get it. Where is he at now?
He got 30 days on a bum ride. That's a long story.
Look, I'm just saying, if you've got a literal shrine of your boyfriend in the corner of the bedroom, you'd think you'd wait out a 30-day sentence. Eventually, Stryker walks out of jail a free man, and the world already feels like a very different place. It seems like he can practically walk from prison straight to his boyfriend's house. So he does what any reasonable person would do, breaks in. Inside, he finds his boyfriend in bed with another guy. But Stryker doesn't say anything, which thankfully allows the audience to keep watching. Eventually, the two finish, Stryker quietly packs his bags and disappears. I really hope he finds someone who will treat him right. Maybe he just needs time to heal, time to grow, time to reflect. Oh, okay. One of the most interesting things about Powertool is that it fits into a broader pattern of 1980s gay adult film, sometimes described as institutional fantasy. Instead of taking place in everyday life, many films of the era were set inside male-dominated institutions, prisons, the military, construction sites, sports teams, and other environments where masculinity and hierarchy were already built into the setting. These environments gave filmmakers a very simple narrative framework. The roles were immediately recognizable: guards and prisoners, coaches and athletes, supervisors and workers. The tension between authority and desire could easily drive the fantasy. You could also look at this as a part of something we discussed last season, a kind of revisionist imagination where gay men are inserted into traditionally straight, hypermasculine environments. Although, if we're being honest, when it comes to prisons, the idea of men having sex with other men probably isn't all that revisionist to begin with.
Come on, let's go. Speed it up.
I got all the time in the world.
Not my time, you don't.
To say that Powertool is anything other than an amazing gay porn film would be absurd. The story, the dialogue, the acting, well, let's be honest. You didn't really come to Powertool to dive deep into a complicated narrative, did you?
Do you think you're man enough?
I don't.
Now, I can absolutely understand Stryker's appeal to a lot of men, but personally, he's not really my type. He's never really been my type. And if someone talked that much during sex, I'm not entirely sure I'd know how to handle it. John Davenport, on the other hand, yes please. Ultimately, Powertool lives comfortably in porn lore. A world just slightly outside reality where fantasy takes over. A world where even if you were only in prison for 30 days, that's apparently long enough for you to turn gay. Jeff Stryker was born Charles Peyton in 1962 in Carmi, Illinois. Raised in Indiana, Stryker was about as far from adult fame as you can get, growing up in a conservative, middle American environment where self-expression wasn't exactly encouraged. In his own words, his early life was marked by instability, violence, and exposure to trauma. experiences that would later shape his public image and personal struggles. Fitness and bodybuilding became early pillars of his life, not just physically, but psychologically, giving him a sense of control and confidence. According to Stryker, after seeing a film starring the legendary heterosexual porn star John Holmes, he became convinced that he can break into the adult entertainment industry himself.
I cannot possibly imagine what I could have that you'd be interested in.
Holmes' fame and the contrast between his extraordinary physical endowment and his otherwise ordinary appearance made Stryker realize that success in porn might be more attainable than he had imagined. In 1985, Stryker answered an ad placed in a local newspaper by a photographer looking for models. The photographer was impressed enough with the young man's photographs that he sent him to adult gay filmmaker John Travis, who was equally intrigued. Travis told him directly, "I don't have legitimate modeling work, but how would you like to be in a movie?" Although Stryker had long been curious about appearing in porn films, he was cautious. But his desire to leave the small town he grew up in ultimately convinced him to accept Travis's offer. Within weeks of their meeting, Stryker and Travis took a trip together to the Grand Canyon to get acquainted. When they returned, Travis immediately began transforming Charles Peyton into Jeff Stryker, developing a long-term strategy for how his career would unfold. Travis wanted to build a star from the ground up, shaping Stryker's hair, physique, sexual persona, and overall image. The persona they created tapped directly into the classic gay fantasy, the real man, rugged, masculine, seemingly heterosexual, yet engaging in sex with men. Stryker's character rarely kissed on screen, avoided performing oral sex, and was presented almost exclusively as a dominant partner. And he talked dirty. A lot. This was something different from what audiences had seen in gay porn before. And that difference helped turn Jeff Stryker into a superstar.
Well, looks like I'll be your roommate for a while. My name's Jeff. What's yours?
Doug, how you doing?
So I get top, huh?
Yeah.
John Travis first cast Stryker in Hot Pursuit, a film he had already mostly completed, but which had suffered several budget cuts during production. To incorporate Stryker into his story, Travis created a framing device. Stryker would play an artist sketching men in different uniforms and costumes while imagining sexual encounters with them. The device allowed Travis to connect the existing scenes with newly filmed material, including a scene between Stryker and Mike Henson.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? You look awful wet. Come on in.
About halfway, this fucking storm started. I guess I should have borrowed my dad's car.
Come on over by the fireplace. We gotta get you dried off.
At the same time that Powertool was being produced, director Matt Sterling was filming Stryker in Bigger Than Life. When both films were released in 1986, everything changed. Powertool would come to define Stryker's career and secure his place in gay porn history. Almost overnight, he became instantly recognizable. His muscular, rugged, hypermasculine image landed at exactly the right cultural moment in gay adult cinema.
What do you want from me? Let's just say a little cooperation. You got a real big cock there. That's what I want.
Hello?
The Switch Is On, directed by John Travis, and the fourth film Stryker completed in his first year, became his first bisexual movie.
With a body like yours, you could hire on here and use the facilities whenever you wanted, and we'd even pay you to do it.
Are you kidding?
Let me show you around the place, and we'll think of something we can do.
The following year, Stryker crossed into straight adult film, starring in Jamie Loves Jeff.
Mona!
What the hell are you bellowing about?
When I call you, you're supposed to come in here.
Excuse the hell out of me.
Give me a beer.
Which industry reports described as one of the best-selling straight porn titles of its time. These films, released in rapid succession in less than 3 years, established Jeff Stryker as one of the most successful male porn stars in history, working at the highest level in both gay and straight adult cinema, something almost no performer had done before, and few have attempted since.
There supposedly was a colony of men and women here.
do they go?
After completing the 5 films that launched his career, Stryker attempted to break into mainstream cinema, appearing in the Italian film Oltre la Morte, After Death.
Where's your lighter?
Just a second.
And the drama Amore Sporco, Dirty Love.
Questo è solo l'inizio, sta tranquilla. Mi chiamo Michael, e tu?
Terry.
Although mainstream success proved limited, Stryker's popularity continued to grow throughout the late 80s and into the early 90s. But Stryker didn't rely solely on film work. He expanded his presence through appearances, merchandise, live performances, and novelty products. And he treated his name as a brand long before personal branding became common in the industry. The man has an action figure. Do you have an action figure?
Damn it, Rebel, we weren't doing nothing. We were just talking.
Yeah, now I can find some other bitch to talk to.
Who you calling a bitch? I ain't no bitch.
Where you going? They don't care about fashion. It's pretty obvious.
Well, I can change.
Why should you? Why should you? You're great, just the way you are, Rebel.
You better get your bad motherfucking ass away from my fucking bed before I kick your fucking ass.
What? What, my boy? You gonna kick my ass?
That's right, motherfucker. Listen, honey, I love you, but I can't take you fucking talking about men.
You asshole, I was talking about the fucking man in the commercial.
Get the fuck out of the car. I told you about calling me fucking asshole. Get out.
How'd you like you and me to hop in a nice hot jacuzzi together?
As the adult film industry evolved, Stryker adapted with it, shifting toward work that offered greater creative and professional control, producing, directing, performing live. He also became increasingly outspoken about contracts, ownership, and performer treatment, issues that were rarely discussed openly in the industry at the time. It was about controlling his own image and ultimately his legacy.
Well, I think you got enough for your story. But I don't have enough for my burning desire. I can shoot movies. I can fuck the hottest fucking men around. But I can't stop this desire, this insatiable appetite.
Jeff Stryker helped define a version of gay masculinity that was powerful, confident, and highly visible at a moment when visibility still carried real risk. He understood image, and perhaps most importantly, he understood himself. Stryker became one of those few gay porn stars whose name was widely recognized even beyond the traditional gay adult audience. Over the years, many porn performers have leveraged their brand identities through related services like stripping or escorting, but Stryker was among the first gay porn stars to expand his brand into consumer products.
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Ain't that just the way it is? Never a good hoe around when you need one.
Licensing toys, playing cards, and even releasing a country music album. Treating his name as an asset was a strategy that quietly influenced how later performers approached longevity in the adult industry. Jeff Stryker may be a star of his era, but he also helped shape the rules that came after. You've been watching Demystifying Gay Porn. I'm your host, Ike Grande. Demystifying Gay Porn can be found on every podcast directory as well as YouTube. Demystifying Gay Porn is on X, Facebook, Instagram, Substack, Threads. And if you like what you're watching or listening to and want to be a part of the process, head over to patreon.com/Demystifying Gay Porn, where you can support this podcast and YouTube channel, and I can continue making content like you've just enjoyed. As always, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like, leave a comment, and let me know what else you'd like me to cover. This is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off.